yada, yada, yada. They said, great. Well, I went out and met somebody for lunch, came back to work. I knew they were going to be shutting it off, but I thought, oh, I can still do stuff. They shut the power off. I'm still working in my office. It's just fine in the office. I mean, because I got the light from the window, so I can still see. But I'm getting older and had like 3 or 4 pops for lunch, so I had to go to the bathroom. Have any of you ever tried to go to the bathroom here when there's no light? It is pitch black. It is black. You can't see anything. I got to use my cell phone. Imagine how tricky that is when you got your cell phone in your mouth and you're trying to see what's going on and too much. You understand what I'm saying, right? Light scatters darkness. That little bit of light from the cell phone, you can see what's going on. You think about the fact, have any of you ever in your house, hopefully not your house, maybe if you're out camping in a log cabin or someplace, it's dark and you wake up in the middle of the night and you turn a light switch on and you see the cockroaches go scurrying. None of you ever seen that? Yeah, it's pretty gross, isn't it? Yeah. Light scatters the darkness. The cockroaches don't like the light. Light scatters darkness, but it also exposes the dirt. When do you see that your windows in your house are dirty? When it's sunny out. When that sun is shining through that window and you look and you say, whoa, those windows need to be cleaned. So hopefully you get the stuff up and you clean the windows, and the light exposes the dirt. Light exposes our sin. The light of Jesus Christ. And it's interesting to me that light is never overtaken by darkness. But darkness is overtaken by light. Light travels at the speed of 186,000 miles a second. Isn't that amazing? If we could travel at the speed of light, we'd be at the moon in 1.3 seconds. 1,000, 2, 1, we'd be at the moon. Isn't that amazing? To me, that's mind-boggling. I don't know if it is to you, but to me, it's like 186,000 miles per second. 561, something like that, million miles an hour. That is flying. That's just going. And Jesus Christ says, I am the light of the world. That light shatters the darkness. Darkness never overcomes light. You don't go into your house and turn on your dark switch, do you? No. You turn on your light switch. It's dark, so you need light. You don't turn on darkness, you turn on light. Jesus says, I am the light of the world. And who I am, in 186,000 miles per second, will go out to the world. Think about the Old Testament passage where it says, the sins of the fathers go to the 2nd and 3rd generation, but my grace goes to thousands upon thousands. Within 3 generations, I don't think any of us will have 1,000 people in our family. But God's grace is so much greater than our sin. Through Jesus Christ, His light goes so fast into other people's lives and into our lives. So the light shatters the darkness and exposes sin. John says to us, this is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but men loved darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that his deeds will be exposed. Secondly, light gives us warmth. Isaiah says, arise and shine, for your light has come, for the glory of the Lord shines upon you. For 11 years, I lived in South Dakota. Most of you know that. 11 years. Great years. One of the things about South Dakota, in the wintertime, they talk about having these survival kits in your car. And the first few years, I never really worried about it. Until a lady from Watertown, South Dakota, Watertown's a town of about 25,000. She was leaving the hospital where she worked in the middle of winter. You got to remember, South Dakota, it's nothing for 20, 30 below zero to go on for weeks and weeks at a time. She was leaving the hospital at night. There was a snowstorm going on. It was more of a horizontal blizzard type of snowstorm. For those of you that don't know, that doesn't mean that it's actually snowing. It just means that the snow that's on the ground is blowing all over the place. And it's blowing. She left Watertown. She left the hospital. She started to go home to the country. She totally got lost. Totally was lost. Cell phones were just sort of really coming out at that time. She had a cell phone on, but she also had a survival kit. Blanket, candy bars, a can. Why a can? Well, you can take some snow and you can melt it inside the car to drink. Candles. Candles. Do you know that one candle reflected properly can take an igloo, get this, an igloo up in Alaska, from below freezing up to 45 degrees. Just one candle reflected properly. That light from one candle can warm you up. So you have the candles in your survival kit for the cars. It's pretty awesome. Light gives us warmth. Arise and shine. Arise and shine, for your light has come. That warmth of God within our life is what warms up our hearts. Think about this. I don't know if any of you did this, but I know I did this when I was a little kid. Maybe I shouldn't admit it because Mom's here this morning, but I did this as a little kid. You know, you take a magnifying glass on a sunny day, and you get that magnifying glass just right on some leaf or a pile of leaves or a piece of paper, and that light concentrated will cause warmth to happen, which will start those leaves or paper on fire. Any of you do that with me? All right, some of you dare to admit it. Some ladies too. That's good. You know. But did any of you ever at night take a magnifying glass at night, go outdoors, and try to get the light, or not the light, the darkness, to start the fire? It don't work, does it? It doesn't work. Light scatters darkness. Darkness never overcomes light. Light gives warmth. When we have Jesus Christ within our life, when you've asked Christ into your life, there is a warmth in your life. There is a glow in your life which nobody else can understand. Light scatters the darkness. Light gives a warmth in our lives. Also, light gives us directions. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Maybe some of you remember the Amy Grant song, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet." Some of you remember that song? Great song from the 70s. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light to my path. Within our lives, we need light. Proverbs chapter 4. I want to read this one. Proverbs 4. Proverbs 4 verse 18 says, "The path of the righteous is like the first gleam of the dawn, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. And the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They don't know what makes them stumble." You get up in the middle of the night. You're in a strange place at a hotel. If the room is totally pitch black, I don't know about you, but I know I've stumbled before. I typically leave the shade open a little bit so I have some light that I can see. I used to leave the bathroom light on with the door cracked open just a little bit, so that when I got up, I wouldn't stumble. Light is what gives us the ability to see and gives us the ability to have a direction in our lives. The book of John, John 12, Jesus says, "You will have the light a little while longer." Meaning Jesus is saying, you're only going to have me a little while longer, and then I will have to go be with the Lord. So walk in the light. Psalm 27 verse 1 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation." The Lord is my light and my